Hey friend, a quick update for you. My website is officially live. I'm so excited. You can check it out at reneemat.com. And my name is spelled a little bit different, so people get hung up on it sometimes, but it's Renae. And I'll make sure the link is in the show notes in case you need to just click that and get to the website. But this website is where you're going to find all the things that I talk about here on the podcast. Plus, I've officially opened the wait list for my upcoming course. So, if you've been wanting some extra support to finally get those 5 foundational routines working for real life, you'll definitely want to get on that list so that you are the first to know when doors open. The new website is going to be your go to spot to learn more about me, check out those resources I mentioned on the podcast, and get that support if you're ready to create routines and systems that actually work for real life. So when you're done listening, head to reneemat.com, take a look around, pop your name on that wait list. I cannot wait for you to see it. Do you ever get confused on how many bank accounts you should have when I'm talking about putting a budget routine in place and all of those funds I recommend, like the sinking funds, and the emergency fund, and all of those things? I just want to take a moment to clear the confusion so that you can have that clarity and begin making those positive changes to your financial goals. So, I only recommend 3 accounts, and I want to talk about that in this episode to help make it super clear so you can start making progress. So, this episode should be pretty quick, and let's get right into it. Are you ready to stop the chaos, the stress, the overwhelm that's filling your life? I'm Renae Matt, and together you and I are going to build simple routines that are going to change your life. When you put these habits into practice, you're going to be able to organize your life in a way where you can be there for your family, pay off your debt, save money, your house can stay organized, you don't have to stress about what's for dinner, and you still get time for yourself. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome to the Routine Advantage Podcast. So, we have had some questions in the past on how many accounts to have, how to set everything up. And I have had an episode in the past where I have given some different options so that you can kind of choose what works best for you and you kind of know what alternatives there are out there. But I want to keep things super simple and clear and tell you what I would actually personally recommend and what we do as well. And this is how we have grown. In the last 7 years of budgeting, and it works really, really, really well to do it this way. So, especially if you are new to budgeting, this I think is like the best way to do it. So, number one, you want to make sure that whatever you're choosing, you can keep it simple, you can keep it manageable, and you can keep it organized. So, I am recommending these 3 accounts because I think that is what works best. But if you can find a way where you can keep it simple and manageable and organized for yourself, then you need to do what is best for you. But I'm going to recommend these 3 and at least give you a starting point on what to consider and what you should maybe begin with, and then test it out, tweak it, and see how it goes from there. And if you need to make some changes later, then you can make some changes later. But do want to just mention that these accounts don't include things like your retirement savings accounts or any investments or anything like that. So that is outside of the scope of what we're talking about today. We're really talking about just budgeting the money that we're bringing in to the home and how we're managing those funds. So outside of retirement and all the investments. So what we're going to talk about is 3 types of accounts that I would recommend for your budget routine. So the 3 accounts that I recommend is 1 checking account and 2 savings accounts. And the reason that I recommend 1 checking and 2 savings is this. So, number one, your checking account is your transactions. This is like your regular spending account. This is the account that you are going to do any gas purchases, groceries, any bills that need to be paid, anything like that is going to come out of your checking account. So, these are your regular transactions. And then the 2 savings accounts, I would split it into 2 because number one could be a high yield savings account for your emergency fund. And we love using Ally for this. It's an online bank, and that also, like, I have the link on the website under my favorites list. It's at reneemat.com if you want to take a look at that. But basically, it's a high yield savings account where you can do everything online And we love keeping our emergency fund there because it's easy to move the money over there and then kind of set it and forget it while it builds extra funds, while it builds interest. So you're earning money on your money over time. So if you can stack up your emergency fund over there and then let it just sit and make money for you and forget about it until you actually need it because it is only for emergencies. So we like having that separate, and that's why we love having it in Ally versus in our local bank. The second savings account is for the sinking funds. So this is separate from your emergency fund. The second savings account is for your sinking funds, and do one account for sinking funds. And then we actually have them divided up and organized in our annual budget system spreadsheet, which is going to be available to you through my upcoming course. So, my course is also at the website. You can go to reneematt.com and you can go to the Work With Me page and find out all about that. But my foundations course is going to have this spreadsheet in there, which will help organize your sinking funds. And if you don't have a desire to do the course, that's totally fine. You can do this management on your own. You can do it in a notebook. You can do it in your own spreadsheet. You can do it in an app, however you want to manage it. But basically, we use that second savings account at our local bank. So we have our local checking and savings, and then we have our high yield savings account in Ally. And then that is how we manage all of those accounts. But if we are using our sinking funds account, that regular savings account, we have one larger balance. And then on our spreadsheet, it's divided amongst all of the different things that we're saving that money for. So even though it might say we have one lump sum in our savings, that's not what we're looking at when we're looking at how much we have in savings. We are keeping it all there, organized and managed in one account just to make it super simple. But then when we're looking at how much money we have set aside for a replacement car or for car repairs or for extra charity funds or for home maintenance or for a clothing fund, anything like that, we're actually looking at that on our spreadsheet because that tells us how much we have saved for each type of thing individually, even though it is all saved into one account. So, this is where it gets really easy to manage things because if we were trying to manage all of these different things in different accounts, it would be really overwhelming and confusing. But by keeping it in one account and then managing it on our spreadsheet, it makes it really easy to save money, but yet still know exactly what we're wanting to spend that money on. So that is what we do. That is what I would recommend. I think it's really easy to do it this way and it's not overwhelming. So if you are feeling overwhelmed with your budget, like this is a really great place to start. If you have extra accounts, just close them down for a little bit and see how you like just simplifying things and how you like managing things this way. So it would be one checking account, one savings account, and both of those two can be at your local bank, and that makes it really easy. And then open up a second savings account in a high yield savings. So, whether that is at your local bank or it's at something like Ally or a different institution, you can definitely do that. But I would recommend because it's going to be a larger balance, it's a really great balance to start earning extra interest on to help make you money as you are continuing to save. So, that is what I would recommend. If you have some questions about like what sinking funds you should have, things like that, I do have a couple of episodes that you can go back and listen to that might help you with this if you are trying to figure out what kind of sinking funds to use. Episode 85 is how many sinking funds should I have and gives you 14 ideas. And then episode 172 is 6 sinking funds that we use to help keep your monthly budget on track. And I hope that this episode was helpful. I hope it gave you some clarity on where to get started so that you can start making that progress because when we can keep it simple and manageable and organized and we have a plan and it's clear, it makes it so much easier to start reaching our money goals. And that's exactly what I want for you. I want you to be able to look at your budget routine, know exactly what to do, where your money is going, and be able to start making progress so that we do not have to stress about money. So I hope that was helpful, and I will catch you back here on the next episode. Did you love that episode or learn something useful? If so, would you do me a huge favor? My goal is to grow this podcast and help as many women as I can break free from the overwhelm so they can truly enjoy their life.
The best way for me to do this is for you to leave a 5-star written review on your podcast app and to share this episode with a friend or in your Instagram stories. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next episode. Take care.